In the previous topic, we covered striking oil. Once you've got a customer talking about something they're really passionate about. But it doesn't always end there. There's a slew of what I call likability hacks that you can employ to make someone like you better. Now, the best of them are in a book called How to Win Friends and Influence People by an author named Dale Carnegie. Now, this was written all the way back in the early 1900s. Now, if you haven't read it, I really implore you to read it. It's one of the most impressive books of rapport and sales knowledge that you can imagine. There's some really good gems in there. Things like, don't be too argumentative. People don't like to be in arguments all the time. Right? Another amazing one that you should absolutely employ in sales is remember people's names and use it often. I believe the quote that he uses is, a person's name is the sweetest sound to them that they can imagine. There's some really, really good takeaways in that book, and I don't just want to plagiarize the whole material, but the biggest thing is once you've got someone talking about something they're interested in, the most important thing that you can do is to show genuine interest. I'm not talking about placated interest. I'm not talking about where you're just pretending. Actually be interested in what they're talking about. Because if someone feels like you're genuinely interested in what they're talking about, it's going to make them feel amazing. And if you're providing someone a good experience, you're going to have a great sales process. So why should you be interested in what the customers have to say? If you're like me, I don't have an awful lot of attention span. I find that active listening can be quite a struggle for me sometimes. But the key to being motivated to doing anything is to understand why you need to do it. If you fully comprehend the reason that you need to do it and understand how important it is, it makes it much more digestible. Well, for me, the journey really started in the understanding that you can get incredible, useless information from anything. And look, if you're an engineer or something that you're very task focused, useless information doesn't always come in handy. But what I find is that everybody has like a niche thing that they're super nerdy about. Everybody is nerdy about things. Like I've read Lord of the Rings 3 times. Like there's every single person out there has something that they nerd really hard about. And if you can uncover something that someone nerds hard about and get them passionately talking about it, and you show genuine interest in that thing, how could you be any more like them? It's instant connection that you have with people. But it's not all about how to use people. It's not a mercenary tactic. It should be about the genuine interest that you can show. And how do you show it genuinely? Well, the funny thing is, number one, things are cool. Like sometimes you learn something, you go, you know what, that was really cool. And if it's something specific that someone's really nerdy about, knowing that thing can come in handy another time. Let's say, for instance, you're dealing with a customer and you've gone to their house, right? And you know everything there is to know about Star Wars. And you go for a consultation, a really important close that you have to close. They've already booked ahead, so it's a warm lead. But the moment you come in, you look down and you see a Star Wars doormat. And immediately you start talking about the new trilogy that they've got coming up and what's their opinion and things like that. Well, if you have nerded where somebody has nerded, you're going to find a really powerful bond because they're instantly going to know, well, for you to be in this small percentile of people, we must be like each other. A perfect example, though, is this kind of stuff where you can ascertain it, where you can actually learn something that you would never even think about. It can come back and help you. I remember I was dealing with a customer once, and we just got talking. I got them asking what they were passionate about, and it turns out this customer was really passionate about bird watching. Now, I don't know about you, I couldn't think of anything more boring. There is nothing I want to know about bird watching, but I found oil. I struck oil with this customer and we really got talking. We got talking about different kinds of binoculars that you can use and different kinds of things that they use to call to mimic different sounds. And it was a really fascinating conversation, but they ended up talking about there was a certain type of swallow. And in the Eastern world, they called it one name, and in the Western world, they called it another name, because in one continent, they thought they found it out, in another continent, they thought they found it first. And there was a huge debate inside the bird watching community about what to name this bird. And it was a really ongoing, raging debate. And this guy got really passionate about why it should be what they called it in the Western world. And I thought it was the nerdiest thing I'd ever seen, but I just realized that it was something unique that I never would have learned otherwise. So not only am I staving off that Groundhog Day of keeping interactions fresh, but I'm learning something that I would never have known otherwise. And you think, well, how would that affect me? Well, guess what? About a week and a half later, I went to another customer. right? And I was dealing with a customer and I went to their house for a consultation, and lo and behold, I look in their living room and there's all sorts of photos of birds. And this customer, he was very standoffish, very, owl personality, conscientious, task-focused, introverted, complete opposite of who I am. I'm way up here. I'm super extroverted. I love people, completely different person to me. But I sat down and I looked at the photos and I said, "You get into bird watching?" And he goes, "Yeah." No, he didn't want to borrow me because the wife had organized the consult. I go, "What's your opinion on the African swallow?" Okay, whatever its name was. And literally, instantaneously struck oil and got this guy talking for 15 minutes straight about where he stood on the debate and all the different things, and immediately got great rapport with someone that I would never have made that sale otherwise. So you never know what kind of useless information is going to come in and save the day later in life. That is why you should care. That is why you should show genuine interest, because it actually is cool. The last thing that I want to cover when it comes to showing genuine interest is to get your head around why people like to feel interesting. Because when you show genuine interest, you make people feel interesting. And that really, not only does it make them connect to you because you have similar interests, but it also makes them feel special. So when we look at the needs that accomplishes, because when you really think about sales, as salespeople, we're trained to help people find their needs and fulfill their needs. That's what motivation is all about. That's what feeling good is all about. You feel good when you have fulfilled needs. Well, we have some very basic primal needs as human beings. Number one, we need to feel significant. And another need that we have, having lived in tribes, is we like the ability to contribute. We love the feeling of contribution. We love the feeling of significance. Well, when you're showing genuine interest in something somebody is saying, you're making them feel important because they have knowledge that you want. But you're also giving them the feeling of contribution because they're helping you feel good. People love that feeling. So when you understand you're talking to people, it's not just for your own gain, you're also making them feel amazing. So if we can be serving them and serving ourselves, that's what a real sale should be about. And so if you want to make great sales, learn to show great interest.